go. Yeah, we ready out here in these streets. What's going on, good people? Welcome to another episode of the 710 of Slickville Show. I am your host, Jay Brown, and a.k.a. Mr. 710, and I am joined by my guest host, Sheridan the Leo. If y'all don't know who this is, y'all hear Sway talking about all the time, because she be in the chat room representing, and we appreciate all her contributions. So it's that much better. Is there no way to completely silence that thing? Okay, cool. Yeah, if y'all like this is her first time out, so don't worry about taking it easy on her. She can handle herself. But we got a jam-packed show for you all today. But before we get to that, how you doing today?
I'm good. You know, trying to survive out here in this monsoon to get over here. You know, it was raining cats, dogs, chickens, and rabbits, and all type of stuff. But I made it.
You did make it. You was on time, too. Where you from, Sheridan?
I'm from Willaca, Florida. A small, like, this big
How you spell that?
Welaka. Bass capital of the world. Shout out to the 386.
What is that close to?
We are close to Duval. So close to Jacksonville.
Okay.
That'll be like the next. We in between Jacksonville and Orlando.
Okay.
In the deep woods.
So yeah, you know what it's like to be out there in that rain.
I do.
So you driving in some rain. Ain't nothing new for you. Unlike some of. Yeah. You know, when it rains, she was like, "Nah, I don't drive in the rain. We don't drive in the rain in Montgomery." And I was like, "Well, that's because
2 hours later,
driving through all that mud and stuff. Since y'all still got dirt roads down there, and I'm gonna go ahead and get all the jokes off while she ain't here." But listen, guys, we got a great show for y'all tonight. It's gonna be a little heavy, unlike most of the other shows, because we got to talk about some stuff, but. I mean, that doesn't change. This is an interactive show, so like, share, comment, call in. We want to hear what y'all got to think of, what y'all thinking about these situations. 470-251-4343. And before we get to that, we want to thank everybody for watching via Status Network app on Amazon Fire Stick, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, Periscope, Roku, YouTube Live. We want to thank you for tuning in, and go ahead and share this feed with someone who is against getting shot. If y'all want to get shot, then don't worry about sharing that feed with those people. But if you're against getting shot, go ahead and share this feed with somebody else that's against getting shot. And once you share it, go ahead and type shared in the comments. Type shared in the comments so that we can enter you into this drawing. We got some gifts coming out real soon.
Free stuff.
Real soon, yeah. It's free gifts. I'm not even gonna charge y'all for shipping and handling. I'm gonna pay for it myself. But on tonight's show, we're gonna do since last week. We also got the question of the night. I've already put that in the Facebook chat. We're gonna have Jay's 2-minute tirade. We're gonna talk about this mass shooting, these mass shootings, plural. What's going on? All the way from Negril, Jamaica. They already up in here. Shout out to you, E. Yeah, go ahead and pull up a chair and a microphone, young lady. Yeah, we've started. Yeah, no. Yeah, just come on. What you doing? Oh, you come online. There you go. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, we are so glad for you to join us. Okay. And so,
it started raining. My nerves bad. It wasn't raining past my house. And so I got to pass downtown, and then I was like, "Oh, Jason, you don't do the rain."
Y'all don't know how close she was to turning around and calling this one in, but because Sheridan the Leo was here.
It had been raining like it was by my house. Y'all, you and Sheridan might have been here by yourself. Like, raining, like people started turning on their hazard lights. Like, everybody started getting crazy.
Yeah.
Stop the madness. I'm doing something.
I thought you was... Ooh, my nerves bad. Okay.
All right. So, since last week, did anything exciting happen last week? I mean, we going to get to the other stuff.
Anything exciting? No, just last week we was preparing for my son to go back to school. He attends school in Cobb County, so it was a lot of running around, getting situated with that, but nothing exciting. I wish. Something exciting.
So
was
when
going
did
on.
they start?
They started last Thursday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's dope to start at the end of the week. That's what I'm talking about.
2 days. It's almost like a little something to get their feet wet, and then they dive in for this week.
Right. What about you, Slickity?
Let's see. Anything new? No, went home. Baby shower. Babies everywhere, Lord. Everybody having a baby. And then that's it. Yeah. Nothing major. Yeah, nothing major happened. Nothing major. I booked a wedding, so I'll be doing a wedding.
Oh, yes.
So
Booked and busy.
booked and busy.
Okay, that's what you doing. What you doing for the wedding?
So the bride has everything already together. She wants a coordinator for the day of. My favorite kind of bride. So all I gotta do is just show up the day before, make sure everything is together, get with the decorators and stuff like that, and just make sure it runs the way she wants it to run the day of. So that's it.
All right,
My
man.
favorite kind of bride.
Get that paper then.
That's right. Get in the corn.
Yeah, like since last week, our kids started school, and
Praise him.
yeah,
Praise him.
yeah. Does it make me a bad parent?
Yes.
If I didn't get them back to school haircuts?
Why?
I actually forgot. They
You
don't care that
forgot.
much.
But you should care.
What?
You should care.
I care all the time. I
Did
brush-
it stop because school was starting?
No, I brush their hair all the time.
Brush their
but when
hair
I
all
got
the time.
when I dropped them off at school on Thursday, I was like, damn.
I knew I was forgetting something.
You had everything else in order, though, right? Everything else is
They
in
had
order.
all the school supplies that they needed. They had clothes.
Well, they weren't too pressed. They didn't say anything to you about it.
They never say anything to me about getting their hair cut. They don't care that much.
Alright.
But it ain't. I think it's just a function of them not caring because the little girls hadn't cared yet.
Oh.
And so,
Oh, wow.
you know, they go to school. I'm like, did y'all roll around on y'all? When I pick them up in the afternoon, I'm like, did y'all roll around on y'all heads today? And they was like, no.
Yes, they did.
But did you do this the whole time? Like rub your hair backwards and just get it to roll up extra?
Oh, man.
Because that's what y'all hairs look like. And so when I tell them I'm getting ready to cut it, they be like, do you have to? Yes. Because y'all look like that. Also, since last week, I went skating for the first time in about 15, 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So,
I was out there in them starlight streets.
Was you roll bouncing?
No,
You know what the...
I was a little on the stiff side because
Yeah.
I ain't about to fall for nobody. I don't care what you say.
man.
I ain't falling for nobody.
Did you have the little rail that they have out there with the little kids?
I got some video of that. The 6-year-old had the rail.
Yeah. Well, you know, you said you didn't fall, so I was just trying to make
No,
sure
no,
you
no.
were
I
safe.
don't need that. I don't need
Okay.
that. I have balance. But once I got a little loose. Now, only one thing that happened, you know, it's always those kids out there that can skate like a little bit better than everybody else. Well, there's this one kid that was skating and he was just acting a whole damn fool. And, yeah, he ran into a lady.
You know what? I never learned how to skate on the 4 wheels. I can only do like rollerblades.
Really?
I never learned.
You just skipped over that and went straight to the...
Straight to the inline. It was when it was real popular when they first came out. Straight to the inline skate.
Oh, that tells our age because I know 4-wheel.
No, I remember when the inline skates came out. I remember when the inline skates came out, but black people didn't use those that much.
Except
the
for
first pair that I got.
Wow.
The inline
Wow.
skate.
Your parents had faith in you.
I see you, girl. Yeah, you was gonna make it.
Wow.
you was gonna make it. But yeah, like then this dude, he ran into a girl, and then he ran into another dude, and so at that point, I'm skating like Debo. I wish you would. I'm skating big. I wish you would. Did you come around here?
Chest poked out.
Chest all the way out. I'm not even hitting the music no more. I'm like, Yeah, where you at? Where you at?
You just want to see. You always ready for something to pop off.
Got to be.
When you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Cause you know what? Because you say that, you got to be aware of your surroundings, and you know
True.
you say somebody's looking for stuff to pop off. I'm real observant of my surroundings. Like I know what's going on around me. Like I'm not gonna be surprised, and so you know with this stuff and our primary topic today is all this mass gun violence and these mass shootings. Like I don't know if there's anything that could prepare you for when that's gonna pop off. And hell, if I'm out here skating, you know, you're gonna take off running. Maybe you start popping off into the rink.
Hit the floor.
Yeah, I mean I can't go nowhere if he's standing over me. But I mean that's the whole scenario. Like a lot of these people, all of these people that got shot this weekend did not plan on it, and they were just out in a situation where, you know, whether you at a Walmart or you at, you know, in line at a nightclub spot, all of this stuff pops off. So question of the night, what does the increase in mass shootings make you question the most? Mental illness, which they try to put out there first, guns, white supremacist groups, or leadership. It's all in the chat room. If y'all already comment on it, I'm going to go ahead and check out. Some people said B and C already, which is white supremacist groups and guns. Shout out to Jennifer Wells for sharing this feed. Shout out to Julian for sharing the feed. If you hadn't shared this feed, go ahead and share this feed because we're trying to have a whole live conversation. So stop playing with us. And I'm just going to go ahead and just get right into Jay's 2-minute tirade. That's brought to you by our sponsor, Beyond Clean. Beyond Clean is a dedicated service-oriented business that strives to make your cleaning experience user-friendly, safe, affordable, and readily available to all our clients. We are currently licensed and serve in the state of Georgia, Illinois, and Indiana. We tailor our services to meet all of your cleaning needs. So to better assess how we can help, we offer free estimates, and all of our work is backed by 100% satisfaction guarantee. Please contact us at 708-829-4102 or at email at beyondcleancleaningservices@yahoo.com. You'll know the difference because it's Beyond Clean. There we go. Now look, you hear these? What's up?
Oh, the Duchess said that she said nothing to your question. To answer your question, she said she left her kids at home when went to Walmart that night. I'd rather them be home.
Okay, I feel you on that.
Felder Boy said he has his popcorn to check out his cousin-in-law.
Okay. His cousin-in-law? Who's his cousin-in-law?
But he's my brother, so cousin-in-law would be shared.
Man. I don't know y'all whole.
My cousin, remember?
All right, and so, like I said, I don't know if anybody hadn't heard about it, but if you hadn't, you know, there were 2 mass shootings this past weekend. One in El Paso, Texas, at Walmart. The death total rose up to 22. 24 injured. Dayton, Ohio, 9 dead, 27 injured, and all of this stuff happened. And the Dayton one happened in 30 seconds.
Wow.
All right. And so that's as far as that is crazy. Let me go ahead and I need to set my timer so I don't just go buck wild. We can talk about a lot of this stuff after we get done. After this little tirade, because there's gonna be a lot that I'm gonna talk about, but like I said, I try not to be hostile every time something like this happens, but at the same time,
It's okay.
It's hard not to.
It happens too often.
Yeah, like I don't want to be one of those people that get numb to situations like, you know, if you're in a relationship and you get numb to your partner lying to you and stuff like that, you're like, you know what, I know you're lying, don't even worry about it. Like, you just leave. This is not one of those type of situations. So I got my clock started. We got 2 minutes and let's go. All right. And so for everybody that don't want to say it, domestic terrorism is alive and well. The bad part about it is there are too many excuses for why and not enough solutions. And so when you talk about the excuses that people give, and I don't care who does it, whether it's, the media, the president, or whoever, mental illness, oh, he was bullied, oh, he was a troubled teen, or oh, he was a loner, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It doesn't matter. It keeps happening. And that's the problem. And anytime someone wants to have a conversation about a potential solution, if you start with saying, what about Chicago? Or, if we ban guns, we should ban alcohol because that kills people too and that's legal. Or, anything else, oh, well, they can smoke cigarettes and that's legal. Maybe we should just ban people from driving since people kill each other with cars. You are probably part of the problem. Yep. Like, stop deflecting. Like,
right.
We will talk about Chicago when we talk about Chicago. We'll talk about alcohol when we talk about alcohol.
Right.
All of these things, we trying to push for a change. And speaking of change, this is the time to change the picture that they have in a dictionary under terrorists. Because it's not it's not that person with the turban anymore.
Absolutely.
It's that guy next door with the glasses and the trench coat and all that stuff. Like, and I think the part that makes more people mad is they're mad that it happens, but these terrorists also get a chance to tell their story about after the terroristic activity has taken place.
Right.
That's if they don't kill themselves. But it's also bad that there are a group of people that when stuff like this happen, they ask, and they still alive?
Mm-hmm. Going to McDonald's and stuff.
Right, because we got somebody that was selling cigarettes that hadn't killed anybody.
That
didn't make it to tell his side of the story. All right, so that's my 2-minute tirade. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that we're going to get to. What's going on, good people? Guys, if you haven't shared this feed, go ahead and share this feed. Comment, share it in there so we can enter you in this drawing for this prize. We already got a winner from last week. I'm going to go ahead and get that sent out. I'm going to shoot you an email or a DM or a direct message. And know so you can get this stuff. Go ahead. What you got?
The Chosen 11579 said domestic terrorism is not an issue because it doesn't affect the white demographic.
But it can. I mean, as far as domestic, it's an issue because it's here.
Right.
Flash flood warning confirmed. Yes.
I was in it.
Right.
I was
all right. And so, yes, I mean it's an issue. So let me get your thoughts on that.
Well, I think it definitely goes back to who our leader is. He is out there just inciting all type of racism. He's not condemning anything. Mm-hmm. And so people are really, all of those people who used to be silent and hiding behind their hoods and things like that, they're not doing that anymore. They are really getting bold and doing what they want to do to whomever, whether that's shooting up the malls or shooting up the movie theaters or walking up to you in your face and calling you a nigger. He's not condemning any of those things. So people are just really getting bold with it. So I personally think a lot of it definitely goes back to 4-5.
Oh yeah, but he's the first one to be like,
we need to build a wall,
and that's not gonna do anything to stop
what's going on here, right? Because those are not people who are overseas or people who are in Mexico or wherever. They're Americans who are right here, and they feel that they can do it comfortably because of the leader that we have.
Now that's the other part. Like, I can't pretend like when the election passed that there wasn't when it happened that there wasn't a different type of vibe in the air. And I don't know if it could have just been me. And I'm gonna take my blame for the part of it. But when I got to work the next day, you could tell that there was a different level of chipperness that like they was like, we won and we can do this. But at the same time, it was also like, yeah, I wore a Black Lives Matter shirt to work, and people looked at me like, I don't know how I feel about that. And if you feel some kind of way, that's a personal problem. But it's also a personal problem for me because when I see one of those red hats,
Right.
I feel some kind of way. I'm like, yo, that person got to be racist right there. I know that person racist.
Right. So doesn't that make you feel a certain way on the inside? Like, is it just me or your mood, your attitude towards? Let me choose my words carefully.
Colonizers.
That's a good word.
Colonizers.
Like, do you feel just different sometimes, just even when you in a room or when you out and about, just different? Like, kind of just, I don't know. Kind of upset, just kind of, not all the time, but easily can be kind of upset, or it's like I'm always on the defense for me. Like, I was home this weekend and I was ready for one to jump in line in front of me at the it's just like, it's like you just kind of always just on edge or just feeling a certain kind of way for me.
Okay, I wouldn't say that I'm necessarily on the defense. So I will say that when I'm a lot more alert.
Okay.
And so I'm a lot less tolerant to
Absolutely.
what people could deem as, oh, I didn't mean to say that.
Absolutely.
Because there's so much, everybody's gotten so hypersensitive, and I can say that I have too, but at the same time, it's like, yo, what you just say, like, so all the you people stuff, all of that stuff, and any of those other like things that might be a little sly, like, oh, you know, I bought you this watermelon martini. Here you go. I'm like, yo, man.
Yeah,
Or you know what y'all want for this potluck? Chicken? He's like, wait, God. Oh.
I don't even eat potlucks, so no, I don't want that either.
Yeah, I don't eat potlucks either.
No. But yeah, you definitely have to. I kind of feel the same way. It's like I don't think that I'm on edge, but it's almost like I'm ready.
Right.
I'm ready. So, like we said before, if you stay ready, you never have to get ready. So, don't come over here with the nonsense, because I'm not the type of person, like, I'm not going to get upset, but I'm going to educate you in a really nice, nasty manner.
Nice, nasty. All right, so too blessed to be stressed. Hanifa said, let me see, like when she was saying when white people do it, it's a mental health issue, but if us as brown people, you know, we criminals or monsters or whatever they want the public to think. And I mean, it is like the first thing that they do in any situation is bring up a criminal history. What's the worst thing that we can say about you to make it seem okay for whatever happened? Whether it's, oh, well, the reason why we did this is because he had superhuman strength, and I couldn't just take him down with my police training. I had to use a gun and a taser and a billy club and call my friends to stomp him out after we had already arrested him and choked the rest of them with illegal moves, because all of the resources that I have as a trained police officer
didn't work.
His superhuman strength did not allow me to use that training. Whereas, you know, like I said, when they say, is he still alive? You had them walk up, and this dude just came.
Absolutely.
And that white guy with the gun, with the automatic rifle that just committed a super crime is less of a threat than just a random black dude. And that's another part that pisses people off, because it's one thing to be like, yo, I don't want to fear when I go out. I don't want to fear nothing when I go out. Whether if I go to this movie, is somebody gonna shoot at the screen,
right,
or just haul off? Or is it that day?
Right.
While we out skating and, you know, I got my family out. Is it that day? Right. When I turn on the news and hear that, you know, an entertainment district got shot up in Dayton, Ohio, is it that day for some of my family? I got family in Dayton. Now, they got a family, so they don't kick it like that.
Right.
Yeah.
But still, you like, damn, like this is close. Is it that day? And it ain't no fault of your own. What you needed a bag of sugar and somebody just happened to go in there and Walmart and pop and try to make it happen. Like I just. Like I said, I don't live in fear, but at the same time, it's just like, yo, what's the solution? How do we fix it?
I will say I'm more nervous or aware when I'm in crowded spaces. Mm-hmm. I will say that.
It's just, okay. And so we're having this conversation, and I saw something that was kind of disturbing on social media this weekend, and it was one of the football analysts from ESPN just made a post, a singular post, about all the mass shootings that has happened.
I saw that.
And then, of course, I just go in and just look at the comments. Let's see what these folks got to say. Stick to football. Stick to sports. Oh, if we wanted these type of stats, we would go to Fox News or somewhere else. Oh, what about Chicago and all this stuff? And I'm just like, this is the problem.
This is the problem.
Like, I understand that if it doesn't bother you that multiple people keep getting killed, or you want to talk about Chicago, we could talk about Chicago. Yeah, 70 people got shot in Chicago this weekend. Wow. And it's for a totally different reason for what happened in El Paso and in Dayton. Now, I will say, like, I've lived in another country for 2.5 years, and where there was not a single day that I stepped out of my house that I feared for my life in a way that, hey, somebody's going to shoot me. Mm-hmm. I didn't see guns. You didn't hear guns. Mm-hmm. I couldn't understand the news because it was in Korean, but at the same time, I did not see.
But you didn't have that fear.
Multiple gun violence. Like, my buddy and I, when he was alive, we had a conversation. We was walking down the streets of South Korea, and we was just like, you know what? It feel weird to let my guard down in this way, but I don't have to be like that right now.
Like you do when you're back home.
You back home, you always on alert. You always watching. Mm-hmm. Like, I got done playing that basketball game a couple weeks ago, and a dude was walking in the parking lot, and I was, what you doing? Right. Like, what do you want? Because I know you about to come over and say something to me, but right. I don't have money on me.
Right.
And if I don't have money, like, what's going to be the outcome of this situation? So, yes, I'm watching you all the way to my car and all the way away from my car because I don't want to unlock my car door. Exactly. Because if I got to whoop your ass, you're going to have to, or if you get me, you're going to have to find my keys. Like,
right.
It just ain't going to be no easy getaway. Right. But I never had that thought over there. And it was weird to have to turn it on, and now it feels like you almost have to, I don't know, turn it on more, but at the same time, it's like, yo, that ain't no way to live.
I think for me, it's just all about, I'm going to be honest, I do not watch the news. I cannot watch it. It is depressing. It makes me sick. It it puts me in a bad space. So I don't watch it. If it doesn't post on social media, and I know some people may think that's bad, but that's for me to protect my own peace, but that's going to stop me from being afraid when I go out, because you can't stop yourself from going to the grocery store, from going to work. I work at a place where there are thousands of students, so we do active shooter drills all the time, but I can't let that stop me from wanting to be able to go out. So I just don't watch the news, but I am aware of these situations when I go places. Like, something I do when I go out to a restaurant or out to eat or something, I don't sit with my back to the door at all, period. I need to be able to see an exit. If it needs to be a getaway, if it's going to be a stampede, a riot, a fight, I need to be able to get to the quickest exit and then to my vehicle as quickly and safely as possible. So for me, I don't watch the news, but I am aware of situations when I go out.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this, because she said something that was interesting. How many active shooter drills did you go to while you was coming up through school? Like, for real?
You went to tornado drills coming up.
Yeah, tornado drills.
Tornado
fire
drills. Not active shoot. Not one. I can't remember not one. Yeah. But tornadoes every quarter, every semester.
Like straight
Yep.
up, like how?
Yep.
Like this is a thing.
Yep.
Active
that's the
shooter
thing.
drills.
Yep.
Yep.
And they're required to do them now. You are required to go to active shooter drills. I know we would at least do it at least once a year. And then, of course, as the subsequent years go on, you have to be, because things change.
Right.
Tactics change. So they had to keep the people updated.
Like, if you worked at the post office and the active shooter drill was something that went on like 10, 15, 20 years ago when going postal was a thing, like, alright, we understand that because going postal, that was something that
That was a term.
that was
used.
a term. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
you worked at the post office and you gotta let go. It was a good chance you might have ran back up in there.
Right.
But for it to be like a common thing at school, like I need to ask the number one and number two, had they had to do an active shooter drill at their school, cause that's insane right now. Like I'm tripping, but you know Sandy Hook was a school, Columbine was a school. I'm just two of them right off the top of my head, and it's like, yo. Like these folks are running up in schools and shooting off, and hell, they don't even be students. Like so, for some of the bullying, yeah, even talking about 24-year-old dudes got bullied. Come on, man, come on, man,
Wait, what?
come on, man. Come on.
I missed that.
Well, like you said, they make every excuse for them, but for us, you know,
Right.
there's nothing. It's just we were criminals, or
Right.
somebody smoked weed when they was 14, and it's had such an effect on
On
them
them.
15 years later. Like, how did that happen?
Like, I understand, like, hey, you just go ahead and use it and be like, yo, these are all nice words to be like, yo, he was crazy. But at the same time, there's a whole bunch of crazy people out there. Like, let's not kid
Please,
ourselves and think
yes.
that it ain't a whole bunch of crazy people out there. But it's crazy people that ain't out there killing a whole
Killing
bunch
people.
of
Right.
people.
Exactly.
And just because you're a loner, that don't make you out here like, oh, he was lonely, he didn't have no friends, so he went and shot up a whole bunch of people. Well, that's not a way to make friends, buddy.
No.
Ain't it? They was like, oh, this was a lone wolf.
It was a cry for help.
Yeah, what? You need? I don't understand none of that. Let me see. My niece explained it to me what they do in their school, and she cried. They do it.
They do.
Yeah.
It's common in schools now. Or they, like Jennifer Wells said, they blame video games. They've been had shooting in video games, but
Right.
if, like, I played,
We've been shooting ducks at the screen forever.
yeah.
Right. You been at that.
Shout out to that. Yeah, Left Hand Rookie said, can't say it's nothing. It's how media twists the story. If the shooter is black, it becomes a product of their environment. If they white, he was bullied.
He was bullied or he was a loner.
Trouble.
His
He was
mom
trouble.
and dad divorced.
Yeah,
ever
like-
since his dad left, he's had problems. So what?
Like all the stuff that causes some of these people to go crazy, and I'm gonna use crazy. I don't care. I don't care about mental illness. I care about it, but
What?
not with how they.
Well, we're
trying
talking
to
about
use
how they're
it.
trying to use it
Of
as
course.
a excuse.
But we're not gonna. It just can't be it.
Mm-hmm.
That just can't be it. Like.
But you know what, too? I think the media takes a large responsibility in it, too. Like, who is sitting at the top of these newspapers and news stations that's saying, oh, let's figure out what happened in their life so that we can make a spin on it? They're doing a lot of stuff for stories, too. So we know that that's not the actual reason that they shot up a Walmart, because it's beyond a mental illness. Yes, mental illness is real, but it was beyond that. And let's not just say, oh, it's because you had daddy issues or something like
Right.
that. No.
Yeah.
The
My
same way
daddy
that you dig
left.
up stuff on brown people or people of other races, you can dig up stuff on those
Right.
colonizers.
Exactly.
Like,
But somebody needs to make that change.
Here's an interesting fact from Get Fit with Nikki. Harsher punishments for people with guns. She's saying in Jamaica, it's an automatic 10 years if you're caught with a weapon. I did not know that.
in Jamaica, do they have, like, are they, so I'm guessing they got strict gun control laws. Who has guns in Jamaica?
Wow.
Because that's the question. Naya Brown says she have a friend who now needs a kid who felt the need to get rid of his light-up shoes. He said that he had to hide in the closet. He didn't want the shooter to see them and figure out where he was.
Oh my goodness.
Like, this is where we are. This is where we are. And then, like I said, the excuses, all of them are just daily stuff that all other races have to deal with.
We all go through.
Like, every other race has to be strong in such a way to deal with life situations. These are regular life situations that people have to deal with, and they don't go kill everybody.
Exactly. But
on the easiest setting, these fools, soon as something goes crazy, it's like, yo, I'm about to wreck this site. The boy in Dayton killed his sister.
Right.
Sure did.
Yes, he sure did.
Now, how sick you got to be to kill your sibling?
He killed his sister. Now, if she was the target, couldn't you wait for her to get home? Like, you ain't got to do it right. Like, do yourself. If you got that much of a problem with other people, get yourself on out the way, because you're not going to be able to get all of them. Mm-hmm. Like, this is the issue. I did want to ask y'all a question about, because I'm not against guns. I'm not against guns, but I do feel like there are things that can be put in place. And, you know, every time you hear them say, hey, you know, we want harsher regulations, of course, gun owners are like, they're taking away all our guns.
Right.
And I'm like, no, we're not taking away all your guns. We're just making it harder to get the ones that people don't need.
Exactly.
Like, if you need a particular gun to hunt, then that hunting gun, that you're not out there with an AR-15 or AK-47 letting off rounds at deer. Right. That ain't how you do it. I've never been hunting, but I'm absolutely positive that they not letting off rounds at ducks like that, at ducks in that way. This is what I know. But I have friends that love guns. He might have 2 or 3 of them. He might have a rifle, a couple handguns, and he's like, yo, can I come out to your house and shoot guns since you got a whole lot of land? Hey, man, have at it. Now, never been in the military, not to my knowledge. Ain't no police officer. So, if you go to one of your friends' houses and they just happen to have a love for guns, is there a number of guns that they would have to have before you were like, shit, I might have to call the police on you?
Yeah, I couldn't be comfortable in somebody's house and they got just guns all over the place. That's too much. If I think a regular sane person have one gun in their home to protect their family or whatever, they typically have it up, put it up in a safe or wherever it needs to be, and that's it. But you go over to somebody's house and they're like, let me show you this AK-47. Oh, bruh, no, I got to go. Oh no, this is not the place to be.
Like, if they said they had it but they didn't have ammunition, but you know the people that got it.
I just don't want to know nobody who got an AK-47. Like, why?
Like, they got
you. I mean, why? You work at the bank. What's going on? Why?
Straight up.
What is going on? That's too much.
Set it off.
See,
okay,
right?
so,
you know what I'm saying? I'm like, come on, bro. You work.
If you went to a dude's house,
you
went to a dude's house. This is like date 6.
I'm glad you put that in there. But go ahead.
Right, because it ain't not that many.
Y'all went back, so you know him enough to go back to his house. Y'all done got a chance to know each other, have phone conversations. It's day 6. You decided to go to the crib, and he was like, "So I'm gonna show you around. You know, he got a real nice house. Let me show you this is my basement." Opens up this cabinet.
I can't.
rifle, shotgun,
Can't. I'm
AR-15,
good.
AK-47, multiple handguns.
I'm very inquisitive, so I ask questions.
And what was
Now,
the question
if you
be?
have a shotgun, I'm gonna. My automatic thing is that maybe you're a hunter.
Okay.
But an assault rifle that just, I would probably feel some type of way about that. I'm kind of impartial to guns anyway. I used to be a former gun carrier, concealed weapon. I
Okay.
had a
Me as
permit
well.
out of the state of Alabama. But now that I have a son that watches everything, like those are red flags to me. You know, you're gonna have to have a very good reason to have all of those guns. And honestly, at the top of my head right now, I can't even think of one. So that's probably gonna be a no for me.
I'm
dog.
too paranoid. First of all, you already know that. You know I'm too paranoid. I watch way too much Fatal Attraction. And
Lord.
you already know I can't. Look, I have been a licensed gun carrier as well. It fit in the palm of my hand. It was very small, very simple.
22.
That was easy. A little 22. That was easy. That's all. You know, that was it. I'm too paranoid. I'm like, yeah, you might decide that I can't go home one night, or we together, we a family. You know, I watch way too many of those in TV One shows, but I'm too paranoid to
Stay
be
off the Lifetime Network.
no, TV One. ATL Homicide. I watch way too
Oh, my God.
And it's always when somebody's just real nice and we together, and the next year or two, it's a situation. I just don't see how a normal person, you go to work every day, you've never been in the military, you've never been in, a police officer, you've never had any of those type of jobs where you could develop a love for guns. You just a regular old dude.
Like, there was this football
can't.
player, Greg
One
Hardy,
gun is enough.
who got in trouble for a domestic abuse type of situation. And one of the things that came out in the story is, like, he threw a girl down on the bed of guns. And it was just like, wait, what?
A what?
A whole bed of guns? Not like...
See what I'm talking about? See?
You got thrown
Why?
on, like, not on a pistol, but it was like a bed of guns. It had, like, they was talking like it was like 8 guns.
See what I'm talking about?
And why do you got 8 guns in the bed, just in general, but still, like,
See what I'm talking about?
you got 8 guns.
Ain't nothing attractive to
For-
me about
For
that.
what?
So Just Shane said, guns aren't the issues, people are.
Well, if they was fighting, we could deal with that.
I don't know. Assault rifles are a bit much to me. Handguns, shotguns, I'm not afraid of guns, but like I said, a lot of things are, when you're a parent, you just have a different mindset. So, I don't even have my concealed weapon permit anymore. So,
Would you ever consider getting it back?
yes, at an age where I can really teach my son about gun safety. Yes.
Because-
And like his dad's side of the family, like, they're hunters. So he's going to be introduced to
Right.
shotguns and things like that at some point. But for me, you're going to have to be, that comes with age and maturity.
Right.
As far as talking about gun safety and things like that. And this is why I carry it. And, I hope to never have to use it. But like you said, you got to stay ready.
So I was at the bowling alley today, and there was some old guys talking. One of them might have been, I think one of them was in the military, retired, and they were having this same conversation. And the one old guy that was in the military was like, "Well, here's what I think. In Kennesaw, they rarely have any kind of gun problems at all. But I believe, if I heard him correctly, he said that you are required to carry required to have a gun in Kennesaw." And so he said his logic was, if I know somebody has a gun, I'm less likely to act a fool because I know everybody got guns.
That sounds familiar because I live up that way. And I remember someone saying, if you are a homeowner in one of those towns
Okay.
up there, you are required
To have a
to
gun.
either have a permit or have one on your property or something like that. I haven't looked into it myself, but I have heard that before as well.
That's interesting, and I can see that. I can see how. Yeah, if everybody got guns, then
What they think?
it
So do
either
they
be the
think,
Wild Wild West or
people are less likely to break into homes or, rob people up there? Is that their logic for everybody's required to have one, so everybody knows that everyone has one in Kennesaw? So you're less likely to be in fear or to do criminal activities. Is that the thought process behind it?
I mean, you can say that, but at the same time, if they don't bring, what about Chicago? Because everybody got guns up there.
I'm so sick of that.
Apparently, everybody got guns up there. Everybody just go out shooting each other over there. So, what's the difference?
There's a big difference.
And everybody having guns in Kennesaw and everybody having guns in Chicago.
Well, like he said, they're required to have it up there, or like the guy said, they're required to have it up there. So I guess it's a known fact that everyone has, one up there.
Would you assume?
know.
Would you assume if you just was out? We'll just use the South Side for example. If you were just out, and you walk past a group of dudes, or just a group of homes where it was people out on the porch, would you assume that most of them had guns somewhere?
No.
Southside Chicago.
Legal or not? Yeah.
Southside Chicago.
Southside Chicago is what he said.
Oh.
I probably
I don't know. I spent a few summers in Chicago as a kid,
Here's
and
what you do: you
I don't know.
drive around the block twice.
would.
Oh,
And you will find
And see
out.
those situations
You will
change.
find out.
yeah, you're right.
I was so back in the day, way
Way back in the day.
So I was out. I was going to pick up this girl. This is way before GPS and all this stuff.
Ooh, MapQuest.
Lord.
Print out the paper.
MapQuesting and
Print out the paper.
the addresses were dark.
MapQuest.
MapQuest, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
MapQuest.
The addresses were dark, and I was driving. I was trying to look, and so now it's like I'm creeping up this street that I know that I'm supposed to be on, but I can't see the addresses. So the Batmobile is a black Mercury Sable.
Oh.
I'm riding up and down the street looking at addresses, and now the first time through, it's like one or two people out. I'm like, damn, that might not be it. I turned.
You
go
circled
the
around.
corner, Cause I'm like, this got to be the right spot. I come back out, it was closer to 15 people out.
Are they trying to see who you are?
They trying to see, yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to see who
And
you
I
are.
almost
Neighborhood
willing
watch?
to guarantee. Yeah, neighborhood watch.
So what did you do? Did you stick your hand out, wave a white flag?
No. I went to the end of the block and made a phone call like, hey, which one of these houses? You gonna have to come out.
Out in the street.
You got to come out, because I don't want them to think that this is anything other than me picking you up,
Right.
because that ain't gonna be it. But
Did you wave them down?
no. Hey,
Do y'all know what 1545?
hey, straight up. But like I said, man, it's a whole bunch of stuff. Like we got like 9 minutes left. That we could go into. Like I said, I don't want people to live in fear of what could happen, but I do want everybody to be aware of your surroundings and what's going on, and not to, if you know it don't feel right,
You probably don't. Trust your vibe.
trust it.
Yeah.
Trust your vibe.
Trust it, because there are times where just a person just don't feel right.
Just, yeah.
And, you can tell people, like, be nice to everybody and this and that. And, that's all fine and dandy. But at the same time, just keep your eyes open. Because,
Right.
I mean, I know if I don't have a good vibe about a spot while I'm in there, I don't care if I just paid $20 to get in.
It's time to go.
I got to go.
Gotta go.
This ain't where it's supposed to be, because you can feel it a little bit if you just paying attention. Unless you, like, I couldn't imagine being in a store in a Walmart and just you don't know where the sound coming from, but it ain't a natural sound that's supposed to be going on in there,
Right.
and all you know is it's getting closer to you, and hey, you run the wrong way, you run right into it. You stay there. You hoping for the best. But I mean, hell, it's 40 people that got shot. It was 36 people that got shot in Dayton in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Now, yeah, people say like guns ain't the problem, but it's the type of gun. Like, let's get these muskets back. Let's get the bayonets back. Or you gotta load them joints every time. Like this, like it can't. Like Chris Rock said, make bullets cost like $5,000, and then you ain't gonna be out here just randomly spraying out folks unless you got paper like that. Head Crack on the radio was like, yo, you probably need to put a chip in these guns that'll keep them from working in certain places, unless you had clearance. That would be decent, but I mean, hell, it's workarounds. I mean, I know that's not.
Yeah, whenever we create something, or whenever something is created to protect us, a crook or a criminal will do their job, which is to make the workaround. Exactly. So it's just like even at my job, we create one rule because something happens, but it ends up affecting everyone else that wouldn't be that way. And I think my job plays a part in how paranoid I am. When I'm going around the branch, when I'm showing up to work, when I'm making sure the opening procedures are done correctly. When you come in, you got a hood on your head. I would tell you take your hood off. I've bagged up from people. A guy literally had a jacket on. He reaching in, so I'm like, hey, let me show you something. He wanted to show me a check, but I bagged up and I said, you're going to have to take your hands out your pocket, sir. And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm like, yeah, you can't even, you can't be around. I don't know you like that. You in a bank and you telling me you want to show me something? Right. Mm-mm. I don't blame like you. I trip real hard between 8 and 5 at work. Real hard. Like, yeah, real hard.
Listen, so I worked at a bank. I worked at Regions Bank from like 05 to 07 in Little Rock. And it was Christmas Eve. I'm sitting there and didn't want to be there. It was snowing. I started hearing police cars, sirens. Now, it's not uncommon to hear sirens because it was a busy street. The fire department was right down the street. Then it was more and more and more, but the sound wasn't going away. Somebody ran up into the bank next door and just bust in, shot somebody, robbed them, took off. And when I tell you that was probably some of the scariest stuff that I'd ever been around, that it could be that easy. It could be just that easy.
It is.
And yeah, like I said, you're not gonna get all the guns, but there are certain people that need them. There are certain people that are able to have them. Like having a gun should be a privilege, not necessarily a necessity. South Korea had lax gun laws way back then, and they had tons and tons of gun violence. They've only had 2 mass shootings since 2011 that I'm aware of, and there was one in 2011 and one in 2015. The one in 11 was on the military base. That's where you see most of the guns at. Somebody had an episode. But at the end of the day, like, we gotta figure something out, and it ain't gonna figure it out by giving lame excuses and trying to sugarcoat how all of this stuff is playing out. And
we ain't gonna figure it out as long as Trump is our president either.
No, I mean they don't want to. I understand there's some money. I understand there's money in that, but like I said, it's so many conversations that need to be had that a lot of people aren't having, because they try to take it down in all these different avenues, or what about this, or what about that, or what about this, or what about that, and I'm like,
instead of addressing what actually needs to be addressed.
Yep.
Yeah, and so if we want to say it's this, if we want to say it's mental illness and not guns, then let's talk about mental illness and how we can fix that, and how we can keep people with mental illnesses from getting guns. Any of them. I don't know what mental illness triggered what, but any of them. Hey, you need a bodyguard.
I just think the screening for purchasing a gun. I mean, I know you can get gun illegally. You can get gun shows, and I know you're not just doing it the old-fashioned way, going into the pawn shop or whatever, or gun shop or whatever, and getting it. But I just think the screening process could be a little bit more stricter, a little bit more tougher. I think that, if someone's coming in to get a gun and, they don't have a hunting license, or they just the guy that just work at the Shell gas station, it should be more questions for him. Yeah. Why do you need a gun?
Ballet Barbie 85 said they need to sell rubber bullets for regular people, and the military should have the real bullets because they're the professionals.
Rubber bullets.
A rubber bullet will tell you.
I don't want to ever experience that.
I never have either, but I've heard it will tell you.
I don't know if anybody's ever been shot by a paintball gun.
I was just about to say, I heard those hurt.
They do hurt. I have been shot by a paintball
leaving
gun.
Serious bruises on people. No, thank you.
Yeah,
but that's a good.
You get shot with enough of those, you ain't gonna do what you gonna do.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Depending on where you get them. Like you get it. I mean, it'd be some up close joints, but man, like I said, I just want to know when we're gonna start working towards a legit solution. Like a legit.
When the president starts to lead this country towards working to a legit solution, because right now he's not doing that. That man is so narcissistic.
Hey, he's trying to say all the right things
now.
Election
he really
right.
only cares
Election's
about
coming up.
himself.
Yeah.
Truly.
Yeah, the election coming up. He's trying to say all the right things now, but
he can't even get the city right. Where the people got shot. Calling the city Toledo.
I mean, I ain't never said something just smart. But
have several seats.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
He called it Toledo.
Oh, yes.
This.
Oh.
You had one job.
One job.
Hey.
All right.
All right, good people. I appreciate everybody for tuning in, guys. If you hadn't shared this feed, if you hadn't put it here, if you have shared this feed but hadn't commented that you had shared it in the comment section, I will not see it. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in. We will be back August 12th with some more. We might get to this Billy Graham stuff because we got to talk about.
No, we didn't get to that tonight.
Yeah, these folks not being able to control themselves or trying to control the whole situation in these streets. And before we get out of here, I gotta tell y'all this one thing. So right before I got ready to leave, number 2, I told y'all he had a little bit of sass to him, right? And he said something, and he was like, yeah, Mr. Jason. I was like, number 2, what's wrong with your hip? And number 1 hit him with a good joke. He was like, yeah, he got scoliosis, Mr. Jason. I was like, oh, that was a good one. I bet you didn't want
to see that boy with his hand on his hip, though.
Well, if he got scoliosis, he probably got to hold his hand there. But I was like, that's pretty funny. Number 1, that was a good one. That was a good one. He got scoliosis because I can't do it. My body don't work like that. But he figures it out. But, yo, until next time, y'all be safe out here in these streets. I want to make sure y'all come back and catch us next show.
Please be safe.
Appreciate everybody for tuning in.
Yes, and to all the wonderful little kids that went back to school, y'all are so cute.